An unmortified man is no match for the God which drives the materialistic forces of this world. The God of Mammon, for all the pride, lust, and greed within his uncircumcised heart is reflected in the things which he pursues, treasures and buys for himself. He loves to cover his shameful inward brokenness and fleshly nakedness with the glamour of this fallen world, and the God of this world has bound him outwardly to his pride, lust and greed through his inward brokenness, and this is why he cannot be satisfied. Always seeking more and more, the latest, most expensive, and the greatest, because he's in competition with those who are just as broken as he is. These kind of broken men are truly to be pitied above all, because they are just spiritually bankrupt men with a lot of money and has become rulers of their own dunghills. Such are they of the Laodicean deception. Jesus said to me, it's only the risen Christ within the believer that knows how to subdue the God of Mammon and use its resources to further and advance the purposes of God within the earth, according to the Isaiah 60 prophetic blueprint. In the fires of foundational cleansing and purification, the Father's raising up his glory nation. They shall be known as the people of his presence, of his power, and of his glory, fulfilling the story and the authenticity of history. Did you catch that? The truth that tells history. His story for his glory. He's a sovereign God, the story writer and only author of the story of his glory and his dealings with man. For is it not written in Colossians 1 that he is the one from which all living things sprung? The great God Jehovah is the history script writer, and we are all the role players in history which unveils the story of his glory, his story through which he shall be greatly glorified. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell, and having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things to himself. By him, I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. And you, that were sometime alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now has he reconciled in the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and blameless and unreprovable in his sight. If you continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel which you have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven. His glory and story shall be read, demonstrated and written in the bride of his choosing, being prepared after a hidden way and a hidden manner, not through the Babylonish harlot which clothes itself in outward glamour, reflecting their Pharisaic pride and love of money. Oh, he's coming to lift up the skirt of the fleshly, prideful harlot, whose religious gatherings are nothing but an outward show and fashion parade. Watch how their glory fades when Jesus himself steps onto the international platform through the outcast nobodies, mocked, scorned, judged, rejected and ridiculed by those who think they own the rights to God. Who is the arrogant man who exalts himself in the presence of God, who thinks that he's the power of the hour? Oh, have you not realized nor considered how all the self-proclaimed prophets themselves to pass under the rod and correction of the Father through the complete dismantlement of self and its prideful ugliness, would they have realized the blindness of their pride, lust, and their insatiable greed. The Trinity God suddenly shall explode in the majesty and splendor of the judgment prophesied in Isaiah 66, by which he comes to shake and dismantle the foundational bricks